Have you ever been awake at the darkest hour? Do you know what that hour even is? Have you ever experienced the stillness of the atmosphere where all of life seems to be at a standstill? For me, at the darkest hour, my thoughts are most clear. Welcome to a mindful episode about stillness on Chronicles with Stephie. Think of a word, a positive word, and it may just be a chronicle shared in this space. Let's make life more meaningful. What the do? What the dilly? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the final episode in the month of June. If you remember, June is one of the most, if not the most special month to me because it is my birth month and it's coming to a close, which is, kind of bittersweet, but a lot has transpired in this wonderful, beautiful month of my existence, and I just hope it has been the same for you. So welcome to Chronicles with Stephie. This is the episode or the chronicle on stillness. So if this is something that you think you'll enjoy, or if you just enjoy listening to my voice, let's get into today's episode. Chronicles with Stephie, Stillness Chronicles. I was going to sing this part, but I'm not in the mood, and I don't think I'd sound very good because, I'm not in the mood, and I don't want to half bake anything that I'm giving to y'all, and y'all can read me, so I would not even try. But I'm an object in motion. Don't ask where I'm going, because where I'm going is right where I am. I've literally been singing that line all week from my favorite band, AJR. If you don't know them, you can take a listen to them. They're really, really so good. And the song is entitled Inertia. Now, if you ask me why that song has been in my head all week, I cannot tell you, but it's definitely formed the basis of today's chronicle, which I've entitled Stillness. Now, this chronicle isn't a new term. The term stillness isn't new, yet it's something that's usually missed in today's world because of the constant noise that exists in almost everything we experience. We are busy bees, busy bodies, busy human beings who, we lack the ability to sit still for a minute or a second, even when it's required of us. I, for one, am guilty, and I'll tell you why. I recently returned from a trip overseas. I have to laugh now because it was no more than probably 3 hours, yet I was jittery. If you know me, I really don't like extended drives or extended means of transportation. I love to travel, but the rigors of it and sitting down for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, I'm just that type of individual when it comes down to transportation. I want to get there ASAP. But I couldn't wait to land just to have my legs moving again, and it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge persons who don't have that privilege, where they can get their legs in motion. And I ask the question, how many of us experience this? How many of us are self-reliant on mobility, that when we keep still and try to enjoy stillness, we're thinking that we're doing something wrong, or that we should be doing something, anything at all. So there's the devil. My grandma used to say, don't make the devil find time for your idle hands. So we should be doing something so that the devil doesn't find time for our idle hands. Now I'm hitting you with a definition. The definition of stillness is described as the absence of movement or sound. And the definition of inertia is a tendency to do nothing or remain unchanged. Now, at the darkest hour, if you know, you know. If you don't, go look it up. I think everybody should know what the darkest hour in this human life experience is. But I think it's safe to say that stillness is unchanged, isn't it not? Isn't it not? No matter who, what, where, or when, the darkest hour will always be the darkest hour. It's always going to be just before the dawn. And in my opinion, it's when the world, or at least my soul, is at its most silent, its most still that it could ever be. Now, of course, I have to hit you with the biblical text because if you know me, I know I love my little word, Zechariah, a text that I would never thought that I would ever pull from. But when the Lord leads, he leads. But Zechariah 2 verse 13 states, be silent, all flesh, before the Lord, for he has raised himself from his holy dwelling. Woo! Wow. Imagine being awake at the same time as God. being silent before him at the same time that he has awoken. Could you imagine experiencing stillness at that moment? Not uttering a single word, just sitting in silence, being still, not jittery, in the presence of the Lord. Just having a calm and quiet soul as he does. Psalm 131 verse 2 says that. It says, "But I have calmed and quieted my soul like a weaned child with its mother." I'm not a mother, but I can only imagine how that experience is. Babies are just so still after being breastfed and drifting into that sweet slumber that you just watch them go off into. Call it, they're drunk from the milk, eh? They're drunk from liquid gold. And they go off into that stillness. Similar to when we as adults are completely sleeping. We're in dreamland, unaware of the world around us. And there's a joke, it goes that human beings are better when they're sleeping, or the other one, but when they're sleeping are sedated, because it's the only time that we can't mess up things. And it's true. It's true. It's dark humor, but it's so true. When we keep quiet, when we sit down still, eyes shut, just, you can't mess the world up. Now, there's a time and place for everything, including just being quiet or silent, not speaking or moving, but just legit keeping still. And that's like an elemental divide, don't you think? Or like dream projection. Alright, so a better analogy. You know that very slim moment that the sun will transcend the horizon. So if you have ever watched a sunset or sunrise, either setting or rising, it happens so quickly that you literally have to be super focused. You have to be still, quiet, silent in order not to miss it. And that statement that I just make is going to actually now take us into the main point of this chronicle. We miss our mark in almost all of our experiences when we are not still, when we are not quiet, when we just don't know how to keep from moving, experiencing inertia. We miss babysitting, those true moments in life, having those aha moments in life because of the noise around us. For example, when babies actually take their first steps and they start walking, we might think we've caught it for the first time. I beg to differ. Their first true words that they will speak without being prompted to say, "Mama, Dada." They may have said something totally different. We may have missed it. We miss not hitting into brick walls because we're laser focused on our devices while we walk. Dun, dun, we're guilty of that. We miss steps that could have, from the get-go led us to a better outcome without the hard lessons every single time. We miss essentially our human existence because we lack true power to hold ourselves in stillness, to just enjoy the experience. We miss moments that we often can only remember through photos, videos. We're not actually in the moment when we go to a concert. Are we singing along to our favorite AJR band songs? I can tell you that I was there early on in the year, and I did not have any photos and such other than when the concert started. But the point is, we miss our human existence. We miss even people who have come and gone that we failed to experience, while they were here. And we miss even those who are still here. To be honest, they are still here with us here on earth, walking, talking, drinking, living, but because of this or that, we miss them. We miss out on so much. Because in fact, there is a beauty in stillness. There's beauty in silence. There's beauty in being quiet. And I live by this scripture. I repeat it almost every day. I rinse and repeat it. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life. Which will then help to lead us to being slow to anger and quick to caution, quick to just remaining calm, remaining still, remaining quiet in the face of anything, good, bad, indifferent. There's beauty in the darkest hour, the dusk, the moment before dawn, where in my opinion true epiphanies are realized. The autonomy that exists in being still in a given moment, in any given moment, even when the chaos ensues, is far more liberating than the human mind could possibly conceive to understand. Even if we try really hard to just simply think about it. How many of us know true stillness? That's a good question. And I don't mean just waking up at 5 a.m. to sip your favorite tea or coffee and just look out at the sunrise. That's great. But for what sake are you doing it? Are you doing it for the sake of the algorithm? To go viral? Are you doing it, to globally inform the minute few of the 8 billion population who will see it? Because the 8 billion are going to see it still. But actually intentionally rise with the sunshine. Listen truly. Listen to those 3 little birds at your doorsteps and experience inertia. Jesus' disciples were scared in the boat during the storm while he slept. Do we know that story? Like the G was literally asleep, fast asleep, in good slumber, out in the middle of the ocean in some dingy little boat with extremely powerful waves. He was asleep. And those around him who were so focused on the noise and could not be still as he was, had the audacity to wake up the man and tell him, not even ask him, wake up the man. Wake him up. We got quiet like water. Water him can come on. For me, anybody try to wake me up in my sleep, in my good sleep, I'm ready to fight. I love a good sleep. But then Psalms 107:29 tells us that he made the storm be still and the waves of the sea were hushed. What? Did y'all peep that, or do I need to repeat? Okay, I'll repeat. No worries. Psalm 107:29. Go read your Bible. It says that he made the storm be still and the waves of the sea were hushed. The big waves out in a middle sea experienced stillness. What? They were hushed? What do you mean? This is a mass of water. This is a large body of water. What do you mean hushed? Sit in silence for a second and just truly appreciate that. Jesus, of all beings that walked earth, went off and sat alone in stillness, even though he was tempted for 40 days. And yet still my little cute self was aggy for a mere 3 hours on a plane. When the big man had to probably walk through all of those deserts. I never yet hear him fly, hear him ride donkey, but And that for me is perspective. That's recognizing ego and privilege and checking it at the darkest hour. The hour just before the noise comes alive again. How many of us can truly say we not only can hear our own thoughts, but that we're in complete and total control of them? Do we have possession over our minds, or does our minds have possession over us? Can we settle down and be still for 40 days? Or does fear cripples us into thinking we need to be in constant motion rather than inertia? I did not know how to write this episode. I still don't even think I wrote this episode because it's new to me. Experiencing being still to write this episode, to put this word out, is still new to me because I was surrounded by so much noise this past week. Noise that in hindsight truly had absolutely nothing to do with me, and I was complaining about it. Oh my gosh, why next door so and so, and this is truly unfair. That was noise. Noise that prevented me having the moments at the beginning of the week to start this episode, and I did not. Fear crippling me now on the day, like, whoa, it will not happen today. Why? Because I was caught up in the noise. I asked myself an hour before recording, what will I say? Literally, I asked myself an hour before recording, what will I say? How will I even record? Will I have the time? Because there's a time constraint at me on the moment. And hey, here I am in this moment with you all experiencing this. God bless how it's going to be edited, but it is what it is, and it will be what it needs to be. But the point is, I had to be quiet. I had to quiet the noise in my mind in order to relay this crucial chronicle to not only myself, but all of the 8 billion persons, of which only 95 may partake in this episode. Be still, gems. Be still. As God says, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in all the earth. Psalm 46 verse 10. So today I exalt God for literally putting the breath of life into my lungs in order to use it today to deliver what he needed me to, because this is all him, not me. I'm telling you, it was noisy. So gems, there is a big world that exists with all the bells and whistles, all of them, but there's an even bigger omniscient being who will, in the twinkling of an eye or at the cusp of dawn, silent the earth. Take a moment today to reflect on who you are and whose you are, and do so in the stillness of the atmosphere. As per usual, peace and love and what? Love and what? Love and what? Love and light. And I will see you all in the next episode. Bye everyone.